Right. I'm going to give it a minute for people to get in here. Meantime, I've got my root beer float here. Let me work on this root beer float for a minute while the audience builds. See what we got here. Bill Cooper. Hey, Bill. How you doing? Doing my root beer float. Fattening myself up. I'll go back to that in a minute. There we go. Everybody start rolling here. WTT, how you doing? All right. I got an important update here. Let me get to this. Hold on. Get a few more people in here, and I'll get this party started. And I'm going to pull up comments so that I can see. Hold on. Huey Patterson. I don't control the YouTube notification system. They do it. They also will unsubscribe you to channels. So every once in a while, you need to go through and make sure that you are subscribed to News Now Community and News Now Houston, because they will automatically unsubscribe you on their own. That's just part of the tyranny at YouTube. Mr. Grove, my Thanksgiving was awesome. Awesome. Got to hang out with the kids and the grandkids and have a real good time. H3, you look rough. Well, thank you. David W says, where's my float? I don't got it, dude. I don't got it. All right, so let me get this update done, and I'll get out of here. I've actually got to get on the road. I'll be doing some cop watching tonight, as I typically do. I know I don't post a lot of videos about it, but I do get out and do quite a bit of cop watching, and that's like a community service as far as I'm concerned. Took you off my channel 4 times. There you go. Useless tube. Hey, you know what? If it was useless tube, you wouldn't have me, right? Okay, let's see. Chino, California. How you doing, Chino? I look older. The problem is I'm getting older. There's nothing I can do about that. It beats the alternative. Okay. Always remember that. Getting old beats the alternative. Anybody but me says you still have the mustache, which brings us to the point of this video. So you guys know I did that video the other night for the St. Jude's donations and stuff, and I said in that video that if anybody would match my donation, match or exceed it, match my donation, that I would shave the mustache off. Okay. Well, little did I expect. 8 people matched my donations, and I got emails from them with the receipts and stuff. 8 people matched my donation to St. Jude, and therefore, being a man of my word and an honorable person that I am, this weekend I am going to do a live stream, and the mustache is coming off. It's coming off. You guys will get to see me without it. So I haven't had it off now in, man, probably a couple years, I guess. Yeah, it's been a while since I shaved it off. So you guys are, you're going to get a treat. If that's what you want to call it. But yes, I'm going to do a live stream this weekend. I'm not sure whether it'll be Saturday or Sunday, but one of the 2 days I will do a live stream. And the mustache is coming off because subscribers got out there, donated to St. Jude's, and we were able to raise quite a bit of funds for them. And man, I thank you guys, and I know the cancer kids thank you guys. So that is it. Let me go over here to comments, and we're not going to keep this going very long. You like the mustache? Joy says she likes the mustache. I like the mustache too. I have basically had a mustache since I was 15. I I initially grew it to look older so that I could sneak into the bars where the college kids hung out. And um, next donation, mohawk for David. You know what? I might just do that. Never say never. I might just do something like that. If it raises money for St. Jude's, I'm all for it. But anyway, so I initially grew a mustache as a teenager so that I could get into the bars where the college kids hung out. And then, after having it for so long, I just kind of realized that I looked funny without it. So I always had a mustache. I took it off for a while when I was in the Army, I think. But pretty much 90% of my life, after 15, I've had a mustache. So occasionally I'll make a mistake trimming it or something, and I'll take it off and just let it grow back. But, it is what it is. And you guys have seen I usually have a goatee, and I never have hair this short. Holy cow. That lady scalped me. But it'll grow back. That's the good thing about a bad haircut. No mustache rides for the ladies. Dave Fallon, thank you. Hey, I'm just a guy with a camera and a big heart. So, you guys, I can't do what I do without you guys behind me. So it's a team effort, and you guys are as much a part of what I do as anything else. Don't ever forget that. I can't do what I do without you, which is why the government works so hard to put a wedge between you guys and myself, or you guys and J.C. Playford, or whoever it may be that's out there. They need us divided. And, man, I'm glad to see that you guys don't let it happen. Yes, I'll do the live stream either Saturday or Sunday where I shave the mustache off. It will be a live stream. I'm going to get a towel and some implements of hair destruction out here, and I'll get it done. Like the goatee alone? Nah, goatee without the mustache on me just looks funky. So, thank you, Pearl Keller. Glad that you appreciate it. Looks like a prison haircut. Yay. You're right, jackpot. It's not a prison haircut. My normal lady that cuts my hair is Asian, and she knows how to do it. I sit down in the chair. I don't have to tell her anything. She just zip, 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 and done. Well, she was out the other day when I went in for my haircut, so I got another lady to cut it, and I didn't understand. Her English wasn't that good, and my Vietnamese is next to nothing. And she said, you want number 2. And I'm like, okay. Well, I didn't understand that she meant number 2, the shield number 2. This is what I got. Life's lessons. They never quit. They never stop. Fat Tony. Okay, good, Tony. I'm glad to hear it. I'm not anti-cop. That's what the bad cops want you to think. That's what the trolls want you to think. But I think that deeds speak louder than words. I have no issue with good cops. My issue is with crooked cops and crooked police departments, and it will continue to be that until they kill me. I fully expect that that will be the end outcome, but we'll see. I'm at war with the FBI. I'm not at war with anybody, honestly, except the bad cops in this country. But the FBI gets a lot of attention from me because they're so bad. I mean, I don't get it. I always thought that the FBI was like the creme de la creme. Hey, creme de la creme of law enforcement. And apparently I am mistaken, because they have been the worst of some of the worst of the worst. And when it comes to accountability, the FBI has been just atrocious. You guys remember when I was attacked by the FBI there in El Paso, I made a complaint against the lead FBI agent there, Keith Byers. call him Big Bird. And the FBI examined what occurred, and they say that there was nothing wrong. Hold on. There was nothing wrong with anything that those agents did. So those agents come out, attack an innocent citizen on the street who's doing nothing wrong, and the FBI says that's okay. How does that? I don't even. I can't fathom that. Now, they did make one of the agents retire, and then Big Bird has been, his career's over with. He's not gonna move up in rank or anything anymore. He's done. But they'll let him finish out and get his retirement, which is part of the problem. That's part of the problem. And as long as there's no accountability in the FBI, the problems will continue. So I just don't know how that they could look at that situation and say what happened was okay, that there was nothing wrong with what those people did. Basically they're just green lighting agents to go out on the public roadway and attack people because they want to. Because I was doing nothing wrong. It's hard to tell in that video. Sorry guys, I got for those of you that don't know, root beer float. What you can't really see in that video is when I pull the camera up and I said the word, oh, look, dignitaries. I took like 2 steps backwards away from these people. I gave myself room. And they stepped up on me saying, oh, you might hit us with the camera. Put it down, put it down. Well, first off, I'm not detained. I'm not anything. We're just talking. So they had no authority to act. Okay? None. But still, the FBI stands behind those people. You know why? Because they are unionized thugs. The FBI, yes, yep, they got a union. Police union, sure do. And that police union is going to stand behind them. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Thank you, Kern County Transparency. Is going to stand behind crooked cops, crooked agents. Instead of straightening it out, instead of stepping up and disciplining these guys. And I don't demand they fire these guys or anything stupid like that. I mean, they probably should have, but all I ask is that they take some kind of affirmative disciplinary action to straighten the situation out, to let these guys know that what they did was wrong. I don't care if it's a letter of censure, days off, or fired or whatever. Okay, but to stand by these people and say they did nothing wrong, and here we go. This is what I've been preaching about for years. The lack of accountability in law enforcement is what is creating the divide between them and us. That whole them versus us attitude. Rather than, oh, man, our guy messed up. Let's fix this. Sir, we're sorry. That should not have happened, and we fixed it. I preached about us ending up exactly where we're at today. For years, I've been saying this is where we're headed. And now that we're here, a good portion of law enforcement, instead of stepping up and saying, oops, we got to fix this, a good portion of law enforcement is burying their heads in the sand and saying there isn't a problem. People are out there in the streets protesting police violence. And instead of the police de-escalating and taking things down a notch, they step it up and become more violent. Look at the protests in New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago. The list is endless where the police are shooting protesters with beanbags in the head, macing people. It's just crazy and ridiculous, and it shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening. And thank you, Everyday Jay. Like I said, I've been preaching about this for years, saying this was coming. And now what I'm saying and preaching about is the fact that now that we're here, what's coming next is even more scary, because they're not fixing anything. They're not taking action. The union is standing up and continuing to not only cover for these bad cops, but is becoming more and more aggressive towards people who are exposing the wrongdoing. And it's not just, independent media like myself. They're going after mainstream media personalities. And that is going to lead us to more violence. I mean, I hate to say it, but you should really look at the situation and start assessing it, because it's getting worse, and because police will not police the bad cops. And as we've seen, they can't. They won't let us come in and clean it up. So what's left? Nothing but violence. I got taken to task the other day. Somebody took me to task over my saying about, bad cops get good cops killed. Of course, they twisted the whole thing around and make me look bad, say, so they could talk bad about me. But that's just what trolls do, and I don't care. But what I mean by that, is bad cops get good cops killed. There was a shooting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you guys are going to be pissed when I say this, but I've seen the video of the shooting, and there were a lot of technical mistakes by the officers, but the shooting itself, I'm not going to say it's justified, okay, but I understand how it happened. You have two officers wrestling with a suspect, and it's Alton Sterling shooting is the shooting I'm talking about. One of the officers, they're on the ground wrestling with this guy. One officer's got one arm, the other officer's got the other arm, and their backs are to each other, so they can't see what the other officer's doing. One officer realizes that this man has a firearm tucked in his belt, and the guy is actively fighting with these officers. And so he hollers, the guy's got a gun. He's got a gun, gun. And the other officer misunderstood. He didn't say, he's got a gun tucked in his belt. He's not going for it, but it's a lack of communication. But in the situation, in the moment, I don't know if you guys have ever been in, wrestling and fighting with somebody. It's hard to communicate clearly. So the other officer, not the one that said, hey, he's got a gun, the other officer pulls his pistol, tells him to stop struggling. The guy continues to struggle. Bang, bang. It's over. Whose fault was this? All right, well, yes, the officers made some errors in their initial handling of the situation. The officers made some errors in their handling of the actual situation. However, put the blame where it belongs. The guy that was fighting knew he had a gun and knew, he was resisting arrest. And so I'm sorry, I can't stand up and say, that guy didn't contribute to the situation, because he did. It's as much his fault as it is anybody else's. But what that led to was a man in Dallas who was so upset with the government and police and whatnot that he armed himself and went to a Dallas police station and shot up the station, killing a number of police officers. So the bad situation, even though it wasn't out and out bad cops per se in Baton Rouge, but the bad situation, the bad policing, the whatever it was there in Baton Rouge, led to the shooting in Dallas. So you're out there on the streets, you're a police officer, and you get some guy that irritates you and you slap him around and you get away with it. What happens next time that man encounters a police officer? He's going to remember how he was treated. And I know a lot of people that have been arrested. A lot of people have been arrested. I know people have been to prison, okay? And the probably 99% of them will straight up tell you, I got arrested, but the cop was decent. He treated me right. I was doing wrong. I knew I was doing wrong and knew I could get arrested for it, so it's my fault. They'll take responsibility for their actions. What they won't take responsibility for is, oh yeah, that cop abused me, mistreated me, however that mistreatment occurred. And they remember that. And so in time, that bad cop's, mistreatment may lead to, this guy having another encounter with law enforcement where he is, maybe armed this time. Maybe, anything is possible. And so the guy that he encounters may be a bad cop, may not be a bad cop, but he is going to have to deal with this man who is on edge because of the actions of the bad cop. So he may act out violently. It's a distinct possibility. People are more and more fed up with being abused by the police. People are fed up, and they are starting to take action. And that, it's all cause and effect. Cause and effect. You take somebody, you beat them, you mistreat them, and then what's the effect? Next time, they're less willing to cooperate with you and could be a hazard to your safety or others. And that is the reality of the situation. So if you hear somebody telling you that I don't know what I'm talking about, or whatever, I've been on the streets and I've seen it. I've been around people and I've seen it. And there are plenty of police officers out there that will back me up on this. I didn't just come up with that. That actually came up in a conversation with a police officer. I think he was like an 18-year veteran of the Houston Police Department. And in a conversation with him, we found the truth in that statement. So that is not something that is not factual. It's the truth. And like I said, people are becoming fed up. A lot of people are more than fed up, and they are ready to stand up. And when it comes to dealing with crooked cops and crooked police departments, like Deer Park, for instance, or NYPD or Chicago PD, I don't have an issue with it. If somebody goes and people are like, well, there's good cops that work there. I'm sorry, but a good cop won't work for a crooked department. So there are no good cops in those departments. If you're working for a crooked department, the department's crooked, get out. Get out and go find another department, because there's plenty of them out there. Everybody's hiring right now. Everybody's shorthanded. So you don't have to work for a crooked police department like, NYPD or Deer Park PD, any of that. You don't have to. So if you're there, it's because you want to be there, which tells me everything I need to know about you and your character. So I have no sympathy if somebody goes and shoots up one of those departments. I got no sympathy at all, because they've earned the hate. So, be that as it may, I generally do not condone acts of violence against people. But, when you've had enough and the courts fail you, when you have it, let me rephrase this. This is something I got from C.J. Grisham over at OCT. When you have a problem, you go to the police and make a complaint, and they cover it up. So you go to the district attorney and make a complaint, and they cover it up. And so you go to the courts and you make a complaint, and they cover it up. So you go to your legislature and you make a complaint, and they do nothing. And so you work your way up the chain, and everybody turns a blind eye. What option do you have left but to fight? What option do you have left but violence? Because you don't have to lay down and take it in this country. You don't have to stand by and have a major corporation like Shell buy the police and pay them, put a bounty on your head to go after you. True story. You don't have to lay down for that in this country. We have the Constitution, you have your rights, and by God, you certainly have the right to fight by whatever means are necessary to make it right. So let me check for questions real quick or comments, and I'll get off of my soapbox for you guys. And here we go. Let it catch up here. All right, let's see. Back up here a little bit. Extra Good Citizen says that the only things that cannot be covered up is in his videos. You guys, if y'all aren't subscribed to Extra Good Citizen, get over there. John does good work. And make sure that you are subscribed here. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't click the bell, you won't get notifications when I go live. So if I get out here cop watching, like last weekend, I had my son with me. He actually went out cop watching with me. And we got in a jam with HPD in a perimeter, and I was almost fixing to have to go live because I thought we were fixing to have some serious issues. But at the last minute, they saw the errors of their ways and backed off. But let me see what we got here. Absolutely. Guys, you should, if you're not armed, you should be. Targeted Citizen, I'm on that list. Been on that list. Do you not see the FBI videos? Opening the eyes for the people in the UK. You know, that's something else, guys. You know, when I started doing this, it never occurred to me that I would have people worldwide watching me. It's this. I can see like the analytics, and I can see where people are watching me at and stuff. And I am amazed at some of the places that people watch me. New Zealand. You know, I don't know anybody in New Zealand. Just Japan. I'm amazed by it, and I'm honored and humbled by it. I'm deeply appreciative of everybody that pays attention and watches what we do. We did not fight. Truth Seeker, you are exactly right. We didn't fight for tyrants to take over. But, you know, was it Thomas Jefferson? I believe it was Thomas Jefferson said that our government was designed to run for 100 years, and that at the end of that 100 years it would be so corrupt we would need to take it back, take it over, and start all over again. Well, we're 230, I don't know, my math is fuzzy. Yeah, I'm doing George Bush math, fuzzy math. 230 years, I believe, into it now, and the government is corrupt. We know that. But the worst thing is that these corporations have bought and paid for, you know, our officials, the people we are counting on to look out for us and to do the right thing and to protect us. They've bought and paid those people to turn their backs on us. And it's time. It's time we stand up. We stand up to the crooked cops. We stand up to the crooked politicians. And we stand up to these corporations that basically have bought America. And we take it back. We need to take it back. Shut them down. And, you know, find us some big oak trees and a little bit of rope and let the tyrants blow in the wind. It's my opinion. And I believe we are on the cusp of it. I honestly do. I really think that we're getting closer and closer. And those tyrants that think that they're untouchable are going to find out just how touchable they are. And I will be at the forefront. I will be in that very first rank of people that rush in the door to stand up. To stand up. Because I refuse to lay down and be a victim of tyranny. I refuse to do it. And if that means, you know, sacrificing my life in the cause of freedom, I'm there. I'm there. Denise Wynn, Extra Good Citizen, didn't get any money from the lady. Stop spreading the lies. Let me see. Steve LaPierre says, my call for violence is eye-opening. I'm not calling for violence. I'm saying it's coming. I'm saying that we're at the point where I just don't see any other way to correct things. And if you say that's a call for violence, well, the call for violence isn't coming from me. The call for violence came from our founding fathers. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, the people that stood up the first time and they said this was coming. So if you think that's a call for violence, it's not. It's a call to end tyranny by whatever means they're necessary. It's a call to take back our country. This is our country, not big corporations. And, whatever we have to do to turn that around. When corporations, big corporations, have the ability to put bounties on citizens because they don't like them, because they're critical of them for whatever reason. When corporations have that ability and that kind of courage that they would stand up, put a bounty on somebody, pay a police department to go after somebody. What is that if not tyranny? They're paying a police department to ruin somebody's life. If you can't get him and imprison him for the rest of the life. Oh, there's no political prisoners in America. Really? They're paying a police department to go after a citizen because he dares to criticize them. What is that? This isn't China. This isn't Nazi Germany. When did that become okay? And the answer is, it's not. But where are the good cops? Where's the FBI and the Justice Department? Where's Homeland Security? I'll tell you where they're at. They're protecting these people. But they can't protect them from us forever. When people have had enough and they see the tyranny and they step up and they're ready to fight and die if necessary, they can't stop it. Because once the wave starts to roll, it just rolls through. And I will be at the leading edge of that wave, I assure you. And again, you get me up on my soapbox. Let me see what we got here. It's institutionalized, King of the World says. Absolutely. Layla O'Brien, how you doing? I hadn't seen you around in a while. Patrick says, yeah, what Patrick said. I concur. Soldiers are giving back their medals in the UK. It's that bad. Well, it's almost that bad here. It really is. And I hate it. I hate it. They bought you when you weren't looking. They bought you. They bought you with that new truck. They bought you with that new big screen TV and that game system and the expensive shoes. They put you into work, gave you a job, gave you a bunch of money. You go buy these things, and then as you have these things, you don't want to lose them. You don't want to lose the nice things. And I get that. I get it. You want to have nice things. You want to have nice things for your family, for your kids. I get it. And so you look the other way at a little tyranny. And then you look a little away at a little more tyranny. But at some point, you got to wake up and say enough is enough. Or there won't be any freedom for your children and your family and your grandkids. That's what got me started doing this. If you can't walk down the street taking pictures of trash beside the roadway without getting arrested, something's wrong in this country. Think about that. My first arrest doing this was in Deer Park, Texas, outside of Shell. I was walking down the public roadway taking pictures of trash on the road. Let that sink in for a minute. Taking pictures of trash on the road got me arrested and charged with a crime. Is that America? Is that the America you live in? It's not the America I live in, and it's not going to be the America I live in. Not by a long shot. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And that the people involved in that received no kind of disciplinary action taken against them. They're off-duty Harris County Sheriff's deputies. Both of them were promoted. Next day, Philip Turner was arrested, basically doing the same thing I was doing, on the street, outside Shell, in Deer Park. The deputy that showed up was one of the deputies that had been there during my arrest, Deputy Garza, grabbed Philip Turner, pulled him onto Shell property, and actually turns out it's not Shell property, but they thought it was at the time, pulled him onto Shell property, put him on the fence to pat search him, then arrested him for trespassing. Promoted. The deputy that arrested me, promoted. And Homeland Security mandates that these places hire off-duty officers. It's got to end. It's got to end. Now, we'll tell you that the Harris County Sheriff's Department now does not, has a policy that these guys working off-duty for Shell don't go outside the fence. Deer Park PD, on the other hand, just does whatever they want to. And Shell is actually not within the city limits of Deer Park. So Deer Park PD shouldn't even be over there. But because Deer Park PD is bought and paid for, they go wherever they want. Shell wants them to go and do whatever Shell wants them to do. And they will cover up, like I caught a Shell employee looking at some little boys masturbating in his truck, and I called Deer Park PD. They rolled up. The guy says, "I work for Shell." Cop got back in the car, and that was it. The kind of stuff that those employees get away with there because the city is owned. So before it's over with, there will be no off-duty Deer Park police officers working for Shell. Mark my words. We have the political establishment in line, and it will happen in good time. But I think that is all, guys. I didn't get on here to ramble. I got on here to tell you about the mustache, and I'm going to recap that real quick for those of you that missed it. So remember, I did a thing about donations to St. Jude's, and in that video I said that if anyone would match my my donation, that I would shave my mustache off. 8 people matched my donation, which is awesome. Awesome, guys. I appreciate y'all. 8 people matched my donation, so Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure which day I'll have time, but one of those 2 days, I will be doing a live stream, and the mustache is coming off. There you have it. All right, that is it, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I've got my root beer float sitting here, and got a couple quick videos to edit, and then I got to hit the road and get out and do my weekly cop watching, Fridays and Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays. So appreciate you guys getting on here. I hope you had a safe and uneventful but fun holiday, and keep in mind that the other holidays are upcoming, so just kind of be on the lookout. I know all of you guys are good drivers, and none of you would ever drive intoxicated, but there are others that do. So we'll be on the lookout. Drive defensively. And I will see you guys again this weekend for